Good day, beautiful people. This is my attempt at a reupholstery project on some Toddler chairs that I got from Facebook Marketplace. So I went to Walmart to find some fabric, and they have lots of choices. And this Mickey Mouse print was one that I favored a whole lot. And I also like this Sesame Street print. Baby Shark was another one that I liked as well. So those were the three I narrowed it down to. Now, I finally got to these chairs, and what I'm just going to do here is take the pads off, or the original cushions, and they don't have very many screws altogether. It was about 10 screws altogether for both chairs, so it didn't take me very long to do that. I didn't do any sanding or anything on these chairs, so that part was easy as well. It was a pretty straightforward project, something nice and simple, which I love. I like nice, easy, straightforward, simple, clean, and quick. So here I'm just going to take some wet wipes, and I'm going to wipe these chairs down because they are kind of old. I don't know exactly how old, but in the little nooks and crannies, I'm going to get all of the dust and dirt and grime off. And also up under the cushions where you could tell they were out in the weather for a while, I'm just going to get all of that, that weather sucked from up under there, and just freshen up the chairs a little bit as well. This is the spray paint I'm using, a metallic gold. To be honest with you, it didn't even take a whole can to do both of these chairs. I only did one coat, and this is a can that I have used on other projects. So, it was, again, a very easy, simple project. I used what I already had, and I like to use things that I already have so I don't have to put a whole lot of money into things if I am doing a flip. So the spray paint came in handy. When you're doing any project like this, it's important to make sure you walk around it and go around several times just to make sure that you're covering every surface, because it's really easy to miss spots. Now I'm just taking my cushions, and I am going to take the fabric and measure and make sure I have enough to cover it and test my positioning. I chose the Sesame Street pattern. I thought it was a very good choice for the unisex theme that I was going for. As you can see on the back of these cushions, on the wooden part, these chairs have been out in the weather. You can see where the wood is kind of discolored a bit. So that's something that if I were to do this again, I would probably go ahead and take all of the old fabric off and leave the original cushioning on if I could. And then what I would do, even though you're not going to see it, just to freshen it up as much as possible, I'd probably go ahead and cover and spray paint the wooden portion as well. What I'm doing here is I'm just taking the scissors, and I'm just kind of marking and putting a hole in the places where the screws already were. So when I go to put the screws back in, I kind of already have a hole there and an indentation to make it easier. Some things I would do differently with this flip would be definitely to probably pay a little less than I did for it. I paid $15 for these chairs off of Facebook Marketplace, which was actually a great deal. There's some really cute chairs, but to make a better profit off of the flip, if I do end up flipping these, because I may actually keep them, I would pay a little less for them and negotiate with her. Another thing I do is I take the original and the other fabric off because these have been upholstered before. Something else I do is I would go for the black and white Mickey Mouse print because I think that would probably look a little bit more elegant. And the fact that I use black hair glue on these chairs, then that would be a whole lot more concealed if I were to use that black and white Mickey Mouse print fabric. Now, the back of the cushions are not going to be seen. It was just something, that would be for your own conscience as a, flipper or upholster to know that you did a good quality job. And if they have to take it off and look at it, then they'd see that it was done in a good quality way. Another thing I would do is clean the chairs and wipe them down, the wooden parts as well again as taking the old fabric off. And that's probably about it. In order to make a good profit, I did not buy the Mickey Mouse. I was trying to keep this as affordable and under budget as possible so that I could make a good profit. So I bought the two smaller pieces of fabric and I just made the best of those instead of buying the Mickey Mouse, which was going to add at least another $6 or so to my top line. And I didn't want to put too much into this. I wanted it to be as cheap as possible, as quick as possible, as painless as possible. And so altogether, the fabric was $196 for each of those squares that I bought. So I'm going to go ahead and average that off and say, so I paid $15 for the chairs and I paid $4 altogether for the fabric. I already had the spray paint and that was really all I needed for this flip. So I invested $19 into these chairs. If I have to keep them, they'll be a really cute addition to my son's room. And if I sell them, I am aiming to get at least $35 for them, but I'm willing to negotiate. These chairs would be great in a child's library or book nook or corner. It would also be good for photo props and also just sitting in a child's room for decoration or for tea time. Chose a unisex pattern because I wanted any child to be able to use them, whether I kept them for my son or if someone else wanted them for their daughter. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any pointers or tips for me, please feel free to share them because flipping furniture is something I would like to get to in the future. So be blessed.